All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, I'm married to this game, that's who I made my wife. Said I die alone, I told that bitch she probably right. One thing that's for sure, not a stranger to this life. Got a safe that's full of Franklins and a shoulder full of stripes. Don't know a nigga like myself. I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fade, you can pull my foul yourself. Spy raid, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, and damn right I like the life I built. I'm from West Side 60, shit I might got killed. Standing so tall, they think I might got stills. Legendary baller like Mike, like Wilt. 96 Impala, thug life on wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at Fox Hills. Like a motherfucking boss, ask me how I feel. Successful street nigga touching them first meals. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, I got everything I said I was gon' get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm the shit now, according to the way that I'm positioned. In this biz, it look like I'm just gon' keep on getting rich. Know them West Side RSCs is us. LAPD on my dick, I'ma squeeze and bust. If a rap nigga diss, switch cheese and bust. All this rap money, nigga, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love, in the dream we trust.
Your boy Mike Roach, you already know who it is. And I'm just coming to you with a little post-game 2 review for the Raptors and the Orlando Magic. Now, before this game actually started, I made a prediction on the Monday morning saying that after the scoreless Game 1 game from Kyle Lowry, that he was going to have an outstanding game and he was going to have the best game of his career, including a triple-double, and it was going to be a pretty convincing Raptors win. And after watching Game 2, he did play pretty well, all right? He did play pretty well, Kyle Lowry. He bounced back really well. He didn't get the triple-double like I thought, but, I mean, you're up 30 points at it's just not going to happen when you're up 30 for the most part. It could have. He was a little ways away, 22 points. He's tied actually with DeMar DeRozan for the most playoff games played in franchise history with 51. And he finished with 22, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. It marked the 20th time he's scored 20 points in a game in the playoffs, second most in franchise history, only trailing DeMar DeRozan's 31 with 20 plus. And this is a little bit why fans get a bit frustrated with Kyle Lowry, because we already know what he's capable of doing, right? So it's pretty frustrating when he doesn't put the ball in the basket. I'm only talking in terms of offensively with him putting the ball in the basket. He does everything else. He'll provide you with rebounds. He'll provide you with playmaking. He'll provide you with grit. He'll provide you with everything that you need, basketball IQ, but for whatever reason, I don't know whether he gets yips, he gets rattled or whatnot. There are times when he just can't put the ball in the basket. So it was nice to see him, the city, kind of stand behind him and really cheer him on when he scored that first free throw. And he just piled it on from there. Overall, it was a good game from the team. It was a good outing, good look for the Toronto Raptors with what they did, blowing out the Orlando Magic. And there's a few things here. Kawhi Leonard played 33 minutes again, obviously in a blowout, understandable. If the game was tighter like it was in Game 1, you would expect him now, especially after losing Game 1, to play a little bit more minutes, maybe in that 38, 39-minute range. He had 37, 4 and 4. He also put on 2 steals. He shot 68% from the field, 15 for 22, shot 4 from 8 from three-point range, 50% there. And Kawhi Leonard really looks polished. He really, really looked good in this game. He was super aggressive coming out early on both ends of the floor. Actually, defensively, he was super aggressive. Actually got himself into a little bit of foul trouble. He had 3 fouls even before the first half ended. Nick Nurse actually stayed with him and trusted him, which was a good part on Nick Nurse, so I was proud that he did that. Pascal Siakam actually got his first postseason double-double. Yeah, is it? Yeah. First career double-double in the playoffs. And he looked good. He really looked good. And it makes me wonder what this team would be like right now if Pascal hadn't developed the way he did over the summer, to see how he's performing this year. It looks like he is a top candidate to be the most improved player, and you just got to hope the ceiling in the future with Pascal Siakam just continues to grow here. Danny Green didn't really give you anything offensively, but he does give you good perimeter D. Serge Ibaka looked good off the bench. One thing I will say is, actually, before I get to the bench, I'll say this. Marc Gasol had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Marc Gasol is really, really good. And a lot of the things that he does just doesn't show up on the stat sheet. I mean, to me, he looked absolutely phenomenal in Game 2 against Orlando. He is just a big body who is mobile, okay? Can play defense extremely well. His hands are so active. They are everywhere. He created fast breaks. He got the guys out running, created turnovers. And Vucevic is really, really struggling against Marc Gasol. Listen to this. This information is from Scott Rafferty. Okay? Now listen to this. Vucevic, Gasol has defended him for 88 out of 114 possessions. He's been on the floor in games 1 and 2. He's shooting 6 for 17, which is 35.3% against Gasol, and has more turnovers, 5, than assists, 4. Okay? Now, Vucevic is an all-star. We've all seen this guy play. He's led the team with a career-best 20.8 points per game in a regular season. And in these first 2 games, he's averaging just 8.5 points. Now, Marc Gasol's defense on him is going to be crucial to them winning games 3 and 4 in Orlando. So Marc Gasol, you got to show some love to him, because he's doing a lot of things that you just don't see on the stat sheet right now. Danny Green, not really worried about him. He didn't give you any points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's a streaky dude, and you know he's going to make shots, all right? He's inconsistent, he's inconsistent, but not consistently inconsistent. So there will be games where he scores 0, but you doubt that's just going to happen in game 3 and 4. That's not usually what Danny Green gives you. He's usually around that 12 or 13 point range. And in the end, it's always good to have him on the floor because he makes big shots and good defensive plays, okay? Now, the only part that's really concerning me about the Raptors right now is their bench, all right? You want to see a little bit more production from their bench in terms of offense. I think defensively did it okay. Perimeter defense could look a little bit better, but Fred VanVleet and Norman Powell specifically. I won't get on Fred too much just because usually Fred brings it. Wasn't a great game. Wasn't a terrible game, but you want to see Fred bring a little bit more, which I'm sure he will. Norman Powell, to me, could be an X factor in this series. And he was 2 for 10, okay, and 1 for 6 from 3-point range. Now, you want, obviously, Norman Powell to do a little bit better in terms of his offensive production. But I will say this. I would prefer Norman Powell go 2 for 10 than 1 for 5. I want Norman Powell to be aggressive. I want him to be aggressive, even if he's missing shots, because there will be times when that shot is going to fall, preferably in games 3 and 4 in Orlando. And if they start to fall, he's going to really bring a great boost to the bench. Off the bench for the Toronto Raptors. It's something they're really, really going to need, especially if Danny Green is not scoring much and Marc Gasol is giving you 9 points. Now, he does a lot of other things, obviously, Marc Gasol. You want his points to go up just a little bit. Overall, it was a good win. Like I said, I made that prediction about Kyle Lowry getting that triple-double. It didn't happen. The 22, 7, and 4 was actually really good, and it was a blowout, so he didn't get, he got 38 minutes. I mean, he only sat for 10 minutes. If the game was tighter, he probably would have even got a little bit more than that, but overall, it was a good win. In games 3 and 4, I do expect the Raptors to come out strong in Orlando. For some reason, I feel comfortable with them on the road because of their depth. And another thing, actually, is Patrick McCaw is now questionable for Game 3, which is a really, really good thing. Patrick McCaw is a guy who can provide a little bit for you on offense, but really you're looking for him for his defense. He's long, he has length, he can move defensively, can move on his feet. And when you bring in that sub, not necessarily Fred VanVleet, but now you can put a guy like Patrick McCaw and DJ Augustine and make things a little bit more difficult for him. So Patrick McCaw coming back into the lineup is going to be a really good thing. Whether he comes back in Game 3 or 4, overall, you're just going to be happy to get Patrick McCaw back in this lineup. Where do I go from here? I got to give a few shout-outs, man. I got to give a few shout-outs because there are a lot of people that I can shout out who have supported OXP. Just a few notables. Condensed Poppy all the way from Barbados. Go on my last post where I made the prediction about Kyle Lowry and the triple-double and whatnot in the game, the convincing win and whatever. And we had a brief exchange, and he dropped some good knowledge. Got to give a shout-out to him because he shows support and love all the time, and his takes are really good. So check out some of his comments. Coach _ Warner 14. He has a lot of great comments as well. Superfan Mo Official. Mo, I see you. I see you, Mo. I see you're doing your thing out there. Proud of you, seeing what you're doing. Marlo Kells. Yeah, some good takes. So you just got to shout these people out because, I'm just out here trying to do my thing along with everybody else from OXP. And to get the love and the support is great from everybody, So I got to give a shout out to you guys, and I'll be shouting out a lot more people again soon. So looking forward to see what happens for the Toronto Raptors in Game 3 and 4. Looking forward to see if there will be any adjustments made on the road. I don't really think you need to, just because the big difference from Game 1 and 2 for the most part is Kyle Lowry. Kawhi Leonard as well stepping it up, but Kyle Lowry with those 22 points, just being him as a leader, seeing him step up his game and raise his game like he said he would, it's a good thing to see. And we're proud. We got to shout Kyle Lowry out. We needed him to step up his game, and he did that. All right, now Orlando on the other side, they're going to come out super aggressive. They really want to get this Game 3, obviously. Aaron Gordon gave you 20 points and 5 rebounds. Jonathan Isaac, he was held to 5 points. Fournier, 10 points. DJ Augustine, after the career game he had in Game 1, was held to 9 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. The guy was 1 for 6 from the field, okay? 1 for 6 from the field. He was 7 for 7 from the free throw line, and Terrence Ross was at 15, and they don't have a great bench, so we're not going to talk about Orlando like they should be a threat to Toronto. They are not, and Toronto needs to deal with these guys, and they need to deal with them quick. The faster you can finish this series, the better. So that's my take. No predictions for Game 3 and 4 as of yet right now, but I might give you one, and so check that out on OXP. You know who it is. It's your boy Mike Roach. That is my Game 2 review for Orlando and the Toronto series. So looking forward to seeing some of your comments on some of the content I'm going to drop for Games 3 and 4. And see you then.